you can find all 4 of those in one clip, which is about 2 minutes, but that's too long. That's getting hardly any views on YouTube. It's the 20-second ones that work. But as I say, it's only about 100 views, or you don't know what's happening with those shorts. I've put them in a playlist as well, so we'll see. But really, I'd like either the university will put something on YouTube, or other people will put things there that explains what the aim is, how they think things are going to work in different circumstances. More things that I've tweeted about. I am Will789GB, and this is the We Don't Know show, WENOTNO on X, and this is Phonic FM. Phonic FM is also on X and LinkedIn. Phonic FM's getting quite active on LinkedIn, actually. But anyway, Professor Elaine Chalice has linked to an article on Substack by John Heathershaw, and I've taken a quote out of it because it was the only bit I didn't really agree with entirely. Most of it is a perfectly sound. Well, I'm sure the university management might dispute it, but it seems quite a plausible story about what has happened to the university, what the aims of the management might be, and the consequences for the project of what humanities was trying to do, or is still trying to do. But anyway, look, this is the bit that I've taken out of it. In 2020, COVID-19 hit, universities switched to online teaching, and the student experience became miserable. What was so significant about this period was the shift towards online working for both students and staff, apparently diminishing the value of a campus-based university. Well, it's part of a history, and I would point out there was the year of the MOOC in 2012, so that's quite a long time before that, and some places did respond to that. I also think that the technology that MOOCs have been using was fairly stable after the crash at the end of the last century. What happened in the first decade of this century became quite reliable as technology. I don't think the universities were really pushing what was possible. They just applied it to learning to a greater extent. But some universities sort of went with it and others didn't. And what I'm going to carry on saying, because I've been saying it on this show and on the drama show in various formats, trying to promote this idea. There will be surely changes to the campus that compare with changes to everything else following the internet, which has been around since the last century. So post lockdown, department stores have more or less vanished. Retail in the high street is very different. There still are buildings in the high street, but the way they're designed, the purposes of them, the way they relate to the internet, all of those things have changed a lot. The same with office space, so that most companies have changed their learning and development, or their training, whatever you want to call it. They've significantly changed the structure of their learning. And Learning Technologies is a show which, as I've said on this show a few times before, with John Mahey and Chris Norton Chris is from the World Show, and between us we've been going to BET, the school's technology show, and Learning Technologies for 3 or 4 years now. They don't go to the Learning Technologies one so much because it's not it's not really a technology show in the same sense. BET is a very well supported mainstream technology show with Google and Microsoft and Adobe and other companies usually there. So they get more out of that than the way the learning technologies in business is working. But what seems to have happened, and it may be the management, it may be the academics, I don't know, but I think it's worth discussing with the campus, is that the idea post-lockdown was to move it back to exactly how it was before lockdown. And a couple of things. I don't know that everybody had a miserable experience. I don't think that the potential of online teaching should be judged by what happened during lockdown, because the resources were not there, the preparation was not there. A lot of it was done by staff as an emergency. You can't really tell what would happen if an organisation had a long-term commitment to it. But it also appears that there's such an investment in student accommodation that the model is such that moving away from the campus is very difficult, and it just hasn't happened. So you read articles in The Guardian or listen to the Today programme, and the online bit has just gone, I would say. It was there probably more before lockdown than it is now, and it was considered during lockdown, but it's not considered at the moment. And I would think the costs could be a lot lower without maintaining all the buildings or building more student accommodation or lecture halls or whatever it is that's being considered. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit maybe too much, but I will keep coming back to this. It's just a question. What is well, it's obviously going to go on to AI now, but just go back to the models that were considered by the MOOCs, the options that were there during lockdown, and what has happened so far. Because I think if that was all clear, then the AI complications could follow on from that. This is John Lee Hooker.